What is happening, guys? Mike here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a new brand, new as in it's their first time on the channel. They're not a new brand to the market, it's their first time here on the channel, and this is the first of 3 videos that I'll be doing on them actually, but the brand is from Singapore, and I absolutely love looking at international brands, so this is always a lot of fun for me to do, for me as a reviewer. And for those that don't know, the brand Ubersuave, which is who we're talking about today, a couple products from their line, the name Ubersuave to them means an outstandingly charming or confident person. I believe that's what it says on their site, and they have a pretty big lineup actually with multiple types of products, and I really connected with their mission, as it says on their site, which is to help individuals to discover all natural confidence easily through the use of their products. And for this first video, we're going to be doing 3 total, and for this first one we will be looking at their matte wax and their clay pomade. Now this is a large line, like I said, they have way too much to get through in just 1 or 2 videos even, so we are going to break things up a bit, and we're going to be starting first with the matte wax. According to the brand, the matte wax is a water-based hair wax that provides a matte finish and what they describe as an extreme hold. They also say it works perfectly for short textured styles and longer length contemporary quiff type styles. The brand also explains on their site that this product is versatile in nature as far as styling options go, and it's easily applied to the hair. It also comes scented in a lilac floral scent and sells on their site for $16 US for 3.3 ounces. Looking inside the tin here now, we are met with a white paste-like product. It's nice and creamy at first glance. It comes out of the jar with no effort. It's nice and thick actually, and then it goes into the hand pretty much the same way. The consistency again is a bit thicker than a lotion, I'd say, but it's not super thick either. It's like right in that soft and satisfying sweet spot. Breaking it down though, I do feel a lot of stickiness and just a tad bit of dryness there, mostly stickiness intact though, and obviously it's a little bit slick too, which I think sets up things nicely for styling. I am going to change things up a little bit here and move straight into the demo on this one before we go into the next product, and I am going to be showing you guys how this works on dry hair, because that's just where I found the best results with this product. As usual, I did test it out on dry hair and damp or towel dried hair, and for me, for some reason, I just find the best result. I'm able to identify the attributes a little better within the products when I do it on dry hair. And so that's why I show you guys the demo in dry hair. But let's take a look at what I found when I tested this out. This is freshly washed hair with no added pre-stylers or tonics, just the product and my hair. And as I add the product in, I'm immediately surprised at what I see here, because the product is, 1, not as sticky as it feels once it hits the hair, which really, when does that ever happen? And 2, it's got this almost wet feeling that I did not sense at all in the scoop. Seriously, that wet or slickness feeling was not there at all when I scooped it out of the tin, but it's definitely there now, and I do think it comes in handy really well when it comes to styling, because I can move this product around all through my hair with no issue whatsoever. I can even comb it through without much pushback. I do also see that there is a bit of texture there, which is nice, and because it's not super dry, I think things overall just look a lot more polished than what you're going to see here with the clay in just a minute. Now though, we're going to take a look at the end of day results with that style, and this was kind of interesting. Take a look at what happened here. This product has totally changed. What was once slick is now dry. What was once wet is now dry again. I mean, the whole thing is dry here. It's totally changed into this high volume texture monster. I mean, I think we can all agree, 8 hours in, it's got all that hold, plus it changed so that it could bring in some extra stuff, like extra texture, volume. I think that's pretty incredible. But for the scent here, I think it's got some cologne vibes to it. It's super light. It doesn't smell like any type of lilac floral scent that I've ever smelled, and that's not bad. It's not a bad thing. I do really like it. It's just floral scents usually choke me up, pretty bad with my allergies, and then, a lot of them end up smelling like something your grandma would wear, but this is totally the opposite. It's totally the opposite, and I do think it was a great choice. It's just, I can't even pick out the floral lilac. I mean, this smells to me like a light cologne. I do think it was a great choice. It's actually a pretty nice scent, but it's just floral lilac? I don't get it. I don't get that out of it at all. But for the washout, this one here, the matte wax, the washout, very easy to describe. Just water. It came out just water, super easy, not much else to say on that. Now though, let's go ahead and move on to our second product of the day here, the clay pomade. Once again, according to the brand, the volumizing clay pomade is a water-based clay pomade that's described actually as a texture clay with a low shine to matte finish with volumizing effects. They also go on to describe this as working perfectly with short textured styles to longer length contemporary quiff hairstyles. Say that 3 times fast. It also features a stronghold and a bergamot citrus scent this time, and we got the same size and price of 3.38 ounces for $16 US. Inside the jar on this one, we got a surprisingly creamy clay. I mean, it's much more lotion-like than I was expecting for sure. It's not as liquid as, say, Ace High Pomade or some that we've seen in the past from brands like Templeton Tonics, for example. It does actually have a similar consistency to Anti-Gravity or Nevermore, something like that. And as I get it into the hand, some things that I see are very easy breakdown, which is no surprise there really, but I also see some staining on my hands, like what we see with a product, for example, that has charcoal in it or something like that, which to my knowledge is not infused into this product, at least it's not listed. Besides that, it does have some really nice tack going on there, and I'm actually quite excited to see how this styles now because it just feels really nice in the hand. And so let's just jump straight into that here now with fully reset and dried hair. Once again, we're working with no pre-stylers or tonics or anything like that, just my hair and the clay. And as I add this in, I feel 2 things immediately. 1, great hold coming from the stickiness and a little bit of dryness, and 2, slickness. The slickness is working so well to keep things from being too hard to apply and work through my hair, where the stickiness and slight dryness is going to work to control my hair and begin the first stages of styling. I can also report that it does begin to feel dry, soon after you apply it to your hair. After just a couple seconds of moving it around, it does begin to feel dry, and that does make finger combing a tiny bit tough, but not terrible because it actually does style pretty quickly. And I do think that that can affect styling a little bit, but it's not affecting it much. Actually, I think it styles very quickly. As you can see here, it's actually coming together very quickly. And I was actually able to use a comb here. I was able to get the best of both worlds, as I like to call it. High volume, texture, slightly polished, but also slightly messy. This is exactly what I like to go for. Moving straight into the end of day results on this one, I think it's safe to say the volume has gone down a little bit, but the hold is still going in strong. I'd like to add in that for this one particularly, it was 92 degrees Fahrenheit outside when I did the all-day test, and I was in and out of that heat all day. And I think that says a lot about this clay's endurance with how much hold is still present and how much we can restyle and still keep it going. In regards to the scent on the clay pomade here, it's a cologne style scent. It's a bit smooth, maybe a little punchy, but in a good way. It's a little bit punchy in a good way. It's a little stronger than the matte wax, and actually I freaking love it. I think it's a fantastic scent, a fantastic smooth cologne scent. I don't actually get a whole lot of it when it's in my hair, but when I do get little whiffs of it, when I move around, I really enjoy it because I think it's a really good scent. It was a really good selection for this product, and in my opinion, actually between the two, I think this one is a lot better scent than the lilac thing on the matte wax, which isn't a bad scent. I'm not trying to put anything down, but I just think that this one was a really great choice. It was clearly my favorite out of the two by far. Finally though, in regards to washout here, this one was pretty straightforward as well. I think 90, maybe 95% came out with water. I felt just a tiny little bit left in there after rinsing, but one shampoo took everything out, so for me that still qualifies as an easy washout. No big deal there. That's pretty much what I saw. But now that we've taken the time to go through both products here, the good things that I saw with first the clay pomade, the good that I saw there was pretty much everything in regards to the styling and the style produced. I think for me a fair way to describe the hold strength was firm. I think it's in the firm range for sure. And for the finish, I do think it started out more natural for sure and then moved to a matte finish later. I think that was absolutely what I saw there. I also think it's more accurate for me to describe this as a texture clay than a clay pomade. I think it does have some clay pomade tendencies in there, like some attributes that we'd see in a clay pomade, but for sure this one for me had more to offer in the areas of texture and high volume than any clay pomade that I've ever seen. I think it has more in line with texture clays or styling clays than any clay pomade that I've ever seen. And that's not a bad thing. That's just how I would personally describe it. And I think easily this product is good for thick or thin hair types based on the hold offered and how easy it is to style with it and how effective it was in my hair. I do think it also kind of reminds me of like a slicker version of Anti-Gravity or Nevermore with a bit less dryness, especially when you're speaking about Anti-Gravity. I think that those are some solid comparisons that I'd throw in there for those that need that. One thing I did see though was that staining. I mentioned a little bit of staining on my hand. It did take a little extra effort to get that off my hand, which is something I don't see too often. It's not a huge deal, but you know me. If I see it, I say it, and it for sure took a little bit of extra effort to get that dark coloring off my hands there after styling with it. Moving over now though to the matte wax. I think this one here was a bit of a mind bender for me. This one literally changed directions, I think 3 times. I mean, it started off dry and sticky in the hand, then became sticky and wet in the hair with less texture, and then at the end of the day, or by the end of the day, it switched to dry and tacky with more texture, which is exactly why I like to do these endurance tests, not only to see if the product fails in endurance, but sometimes you get effects like this, and that's really important to include in the review because this is stuff you guys need to know if you're considering this product. And just like with the clay, I do think firm is a fair way to describe the hold strength, and I think it started out more of a natural finish and then for sure ended in a matte finish. I mean, you guys saw how dry that finish was at the end. It was definitely matte, by the end of the day. I really love though how easy it was to style with too. I mean, that wet, slick feeling made it incredibly easy to manipulate the hair and get it to where I wanted. And then of course it just kind of did its own thing there, which makes me think it's a prime candidate for thick hair. And then with thin or fine hair, I would recommend using smaller amounts, and then you guys should be able to get some good success out of it. I wouldn't load it up if you've got thin or fine hair because I think it can take over and make it a little bit harder for you guys with fine hair or thin hair, straight hair even. So just small amounts, but if you got thick hair like me, you can pretty much go to town on it because it's going to work really well. Now though, after looking at both of these, the question that I was left with was, what is the big difference between the two products? I'm sure some of you are wondering this as well. And in the end, I think they are just incredibly similar. I mean, they both have very similar holds and finishes. I mean, really, if you look at them at the end of day results, even the styles, they looked pretty close to each other. And to be totally honest here, I would usually like to see some clearer defined differences in two products from the same line. That's just what that's just some criticism from me. But looking very closely at them both, the differences here that I was able to identify includes, for sure, the versatility in the matte wax. I think its little 3-way change up there for sure qualifies as versatile. And then with the clay pomade, actually it offered for me a bit more control, a bit more texture, and it was not as dry, which I actually liked. I also love the clay pomade scent, so between the two, I'd have to say the clay pomade was the MVP for me in this review. I do believe, though, that is it for this one. That's all I got on these two products. If you would like to check these out, links will be in the description there. And the brand did offer up a coupon code for you guys as well, that if for those of you that are interested anyway, the coupon will be in there next to the links. After seeing how these two products did in this review, it does have me very excited to see what else this brand has to offer. So we will be looking at some more products from this line. We even got some shave stuff from this line that we're going to be looking at as well. So if you enjoyed today's video, drop me a like and a comment. Let me know which one of these two products you enjoyed more, and maybe another one from this line that you want me to look at as well. If you haven't yet, you also need to subscribe to the channel. Absolutely need to do that. That's a huge help to me. Thank you very much in advance for doing that. Thank you also once again for stopping by the channel today and checking out this video. I will be back with you guys here very soon, and until then, take it easy. I'll see you next time.